What's up, my comic comrades? First and foremost, happy holidays, everybody. Christmas is almost upon us. But like the title of today's episode says, longtime fan favorite character Elektra has just become the new Daredevil in issue 25 of the DareDevil series. So today we're taking a look at exactly how that happened. And I just have to say, her costume looks dope. But again, let's see how Elektra became the new Daredevil. It all started back in issue 1 of Chip Zdaskys' DareDevil run, when Daredevil accidentally killed a man named Leo Carraro. How did this happen, you ask? Well, when Leo and a few other thugs were robbing a liquor store, Daredevil, of course, came to stop them. But in the ensuing fight with Daredevil, Daredevil gave Leo an elbow to the face, causing him to fall back and slam his head against a wall. This resulted in severe head trauma, which led to Leo's death. This kicks off a whole slew of events throughout the series with Daredevil dealing with the fact that he killed a man, which all comes to a head in issue 24. Now the problem is, at this point in time, Matt Murdock, or Daredevil, wants to accept the consequences for his actions, even though he didn't intentionally kill Leo. So while he would like to let the law do its thing, he knows he can't allow himself to go to prison, because if he does, Hell's Kitchen would fall under the control of the corrupt and wealthy Stromwinds. Meaning the borough would go to complete and utter crap. You see, the Stromwinds were going to buy most of the property in Hell's Kitchen, effectively owning it, at which point they would obviously have their way with the city, running it into the ground. So Daredevil became so desperate he asked Tony Stark if he could buy all the buildings in the borough in order to keep the city safe. But it appeared the Stromwinds bought up the entire neighborhood before Stark could put in an offer. Because of this, Daredevil knew he couldn't allow himself to go to prison, and he has to keep fighting for his freedom. His moral code was saying that he needed to pay for the consequences for his crimes, but saving Hell's Kitchen outweighed that. And while Daredevil is in court for his crime, he hears Elektra arrive in the courtroom, and she whispers to him, which only he could hear with his super hearing. She says to him, "I bought it, all of it, your home, your hell. I don't understand you, I never did really, but do what you need to do. Make your full sacrifice. Your home is safe, Matthew." So Daredevil, knowing that his home is safe, decides he no longer has to fight for his freedom, and now could accept the consequences and not go against his moral code, saying, "Your Honor, I've reconsidered. I accept their deal, so I plead guilty to second-degree manslaughter." And accepting the deal, he will now serve 2 years in prison. That's right, the man without fear is now behind bars, which leads us to issue 25. At the beginning of issue 25, we see Matt Murdock and Elektra in their college days hanging out by a fire in their underwear, because they were hanging out, if you know what I mean. Basically reminding us that Daredevil and Elektra have a long past with one another, and they both loved each other. We then get a page from the past where we see both Elektra and Stick fighting off a bunch of members from the Hand, making their way into some secret catacomb or location. We're then brought to the present, where we see Elektra is breaking into a prison, taking out security guards left and right. Once inside, she starts walking by the prison cells, and of course, all the inmates start yelling at her, saying how hot she is and how they could show her a good time. All kinds of stuff like that. At which point, one of the guys yells, "Shush, keep it down. If the guards come, they'll take her away." And another guy responds, "Can't take away that memory." She eventually arrives at Daredevil's cell and opens it for him, and he responds by saying, "Elektra, you better not have killed anyone." She says, "Don't worry, I know you frown on such things. I have to admit, I didn't think you'd actually go through with this." He then tells her, "It was the right thing to do, and you helped me make it possible by saving Hell's Kitchen from the Stromwinds." Elektra responds, and all it took was billions of dollars. Where did she get the billions of dollars, you ask? Well, she stole it from the Stromwinds themselves. She continues to tell Daredevil, "You're a fool to assuage your guilt. You're willing to sit here for 2 years? How many lives could you save in 2 years? I remember our fireside college chats. You're a man of ethics. So how ethical is it to let people die because you made a mistake?" He tells her, "It's a bigger issue. I'm an example. Me sitting here will make other vigilantes better. It'll make the careless ones more careful." She replies, "Forever the martyr." Daredevil asks, "Why did you do it? You used me, robbed the Stromwinds, only to spend the money helping." It's here we find out the real reason Elektra is here. She basically has a business proposition for Daredevil. We learn that Stick and Elektra found something in a hidden tomb or catacomb, a book, just outside of Jericho, which was in the inside of that place Stick and Elektra were breaking into at the beginning of the issue after fighting the Hand. She then tells them, "I told you the Hand is rebuilding again. They go back further than we ever knew, Matt. And the book we found, it's like an instruction manual on how to finally defeat them. The Hand had a counter for thousands of years before the Chaste One hit it until now. The Fist. The Hand is the darkness, the Fist is the light. But the Fist requires a queen and a king." Daredevil says, "Of course it does. Not interested." Elektra says, "Damn it, Matthew, you wanted to strike higher. No more beating up drug dealers, no more chasing liquor store robbers. This is what you're looking for. This is the ceiling. There is nothing higher." He then interrupts her saying, "It's simple. I don't trust you. You're a murderer. You use people," as he gets back in his cell, closing it saying, "You're tired of the darkness? Do you want to work for the light? Prove it," as he lays down on his cot. Now rejected, she starts making her way out of the prison, but as she's walking out, of course the inmates start making passes at her again. But this time, she doesn't let it go. She grabs one of them by the collar, grazing his neck with one of her sais, sending a message, she is not to be messed with. Later on, Elektra is now in normal clothes walking the city, and while she's walking through the city, a homeless old lady asks her for some money. Elektra says she's sorry, she doesn't carry any cash, to which the old lady responds, "Yeah, not many people do anymore." The two then start having a conversation, and we learn that the old lady became homeless because her husband died in a construction accident, at which point the insurance company wouldn't pay out. out. She then tells Elektra, but she had a good lawyer. And this lawyer sounds very familiar because he's Matt Murdock. He didn't win the case for her, but he gave her $1,000 in cash, telling her, God is our refuge and our strength, so we will not fear. The earth should tremble and mountains quake to the depths of the sea. Elektra then gives the old lady her necklace that's worth $5,000, saying you'll probably only get 2 for it on the streets, but I would hurry and sell it as people out here can smell hope and treasure, and they'll come for it. Essentially, because of her talk with Matt and her conversation with the old lady, Elektra realizes she needs to prove to Matt that she's turned a new leaf. She literally says, Matt Murdock is a fool, but I need him. I need him to make this work. I need him to believe in me. So how is she gonna make Matt believe in her? By becoming the new Daredevil, donning an awesome Daredevil costume and all. And what is her first act of heroism? Well, that would be flying feet first into the windshield of a van that's being chased by cops, stopping the thieves, while saying he thinks the kitchen needs a Daredevil, someone to look over people, someone of violence and kindness. I'll be your devil, Matthew, because I'm tired of the darkness, as she helps the police stop the crooks. We are then taken to the past one final time after Stick and Elektra's confrontation with the Hand from retrieving the book. We see Stick patching up Elektra. He then tells her, while you were out, I had a guy translate the book. It's like we thought, the Fist needs a queen and a king, but only one of them can survive, as the issue ends. And just like that, friends, that's how Elektra became the new Daredevil. She's basically out to prove to Matt she's turned a new leaf while he's in prison. And becoming Daredevil is the way she's going to prove to him that she's fighting for the light now. I'm actually very curious to see where this goes. Elektra is a super dope character and obviously tied extremely close to Daredevil, so it makes sense for her to become Daredevil. Especially the way they did it where she's becoming Daredevil because she's out to prove to Matt she's a new person now. So again, I'm very curious to see where this goes because obviously once Matt gets out of jail, he's going to be Daredevil once again. And fun fact, Elektra Daredevil actually briefly appeared in King in Black issue 1. She's in the background with a bunch of characters. So that's a fun little Easter egg. But like we always say, what are your thoughts? Let us know what you think of Elektra Daredevil in the comment section down below. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all our content, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.